So, yesterday, a quick revision of what we covered yesterday. We covered the basics of JDBC. We defined what is JDBC, that is Java Database Connectivity. Then we compared JDBC with ODBC. ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity. That is the connectivity method existed before the invention of Java database connectivity. The main difference is ODBC is platform dependent, whereas JDBC is platform independent. So this was the main difference. Then we saw the architecture of JDBC. We saw the important role played by JDBC driver, and then how that driver uh, connects to individual drivers of different databases. Then we also saw there are four types of drivers: type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. Among those four, type 1 is already, obsolete. That is, it is not used nowadays. Type 3 is the most commonly used. Then we saw what are the main JDBC components, that is driver manager, driver connection, statement, result set, and exception. These are the common JDBC components. We also saw two packages which are used in JDBC practically. Then we saw what is the main connection process of JDBC. As per the textbook, there are 5 steps, but you can even uh, divide them into 7 steps. Like first is the loading of the driver. Second is connecting to DBMS, that is creating a connection object. Then third one is executing the query, or you can divide this particular one step into 2 steps. One is creation of the statement object, and next is execution of the query. Then next step is processing data using the loop, and then uh, that is what processing of the result. Again, here we can divide this particular thing into 2 steps. One is creating of the result set by executing of the query, and second, after we have got this result set RS, we can iterate through the result set to perform the operation whatever we want, whether we want to print or whether we want, normally we try to print only. So this is moving through the result set. We can divide it into two. Like this, totally this 5, we can make it 7. Then finally, it is terminating the connection. In our journal program, we have terminated a result set also. We have terminated even statement object, which is not required. Directly, you can close the connection. Now, let us last part what we covered yesterday was this types of statement objects. As you all know, statement object is required to execute SQL statements through our Java program. So there are 3 types of statement object. One is the general purpose statement object, which is used to execute the static SQL statement. Static and dynamic, I hope you understand the difference. Static means there will be no change in those SQL statements. While executing the programs, I have already explained to you about this static. Static means no parameters are accepted from the user. Whatever is fixed, that will be executed. Now, in contrast to the static, when we want to execute dynamic SQL statement, that means the parametric queries. So whenever in SQL we have queries like this, as even in SQL we have covered some of the queries we have included like this. So suppose we have here queries such as select star from student where name equal to, suppose when I have to accept it from the user, I give something like this, ampersand name. I hope you have executed such queries also. So ampersand name means this particular part is considered to be the parameter which will be dynamically executed. That is, user will be prompted to enter the name, and once the user enters the name, that will be substituted here to match, and that particular record will be fetched from the table. So this is called as parametric query. So whenever we want to execute parametric query by accepting user input dynamically, we make use of prepared statement object. So in our fifth journal program, we have made use of prepared statement object, and in our sixth journal program, we have used statement object. So wherever there is hash table, we have used statement object, and when there is no hash table, we have used prepared statement object. Anyways, so third type of statement is callable statement. Callable statement is used to execute stored procedures through Java database connectivity program, through Java program. So as you all know, you are learning PLSQL blocks in DBMS now. So these PLSQL procedures can be executed through Java applications. And to execute these stored procedures, we have to make use of callable statement. We can't use prepared statement or normal statement object in that case. So we will see the examples. Already we have seen programming examples. Quickly, I'm going to just scroll through the program. So first is statement object. As you all know, the statement object is used to execute static query. Syntax of creating statement object is we use connection objects, create statement method which does not accept any of the parameter. It will be blank. So we will be creating a blank statement. Then the methods of statement object are these. First method is execute query. Execute query method is used to execute select statement. Select is nothing but data retrieval type of query. Retrieval means it will not modify the record, it will just fetch the records from the database. So in that case, we make use of execute query, which accepts the SQL statement as parameter. So this is how we execute the query through statement object. So when suppose sometimes through Java program we want to create or alter or drop. So create table or alter table or drop table, these all fall under the category of DDL statement. As you all know that SQL statements are divided into three types. One is DDL. In DDL statements, we all have structure related statement. That means whenever we create table, we create the structure of the table, and then we alter the structure of the table using alter table statement. Then if we want to delete the table structure, we make use of drop table. So all these DDL type of statement, if we want to execute through Java program, we make use of the method called as execute, not execute query. It is simply execute. And this method will return a Boolean value. So if you look at the syntax of this, it returns a Boolean value whether it was successful or not. So if creation of the table is successful, it will return true value. Else it will return false value. Fine. So here you have to remember the return types also. Execute query method returns a result set, because execute query normally is used to fetch the values from the database. So when we fetch the values, it is nothing, we are nothing but we are going to return the rows and columns. So rows and columns, this is a temporary table what we get, and which is called as a result set. So execute query returns us the result set. Execute method returns us the Boolean value. And then suppose we want to execute insert, update or delete statement through my Java program. In that case, we make use of the method called as execute update. We don't use execute query in that case. We make use of execute update. Now, unlike this execute query, so when we execute query method, we get the result set object. But when you execute update, that means when you execute insert, update or delete statement, For example, it is like this: s dot execute update. Update student set name equal to Ram where roll number is 1. So when we execute, this statement will not return me the result set. Like even in my SQL, for example, um, I will just take you to the SQL screen. And so here, when I'll execute a select statement, what I'm getting, what output I'll get is the table. That is nothing but it is a result set what I'm getting. So when we execute select statement, which method we use to execute select statement? Execute query. So execute query returns us the result set. That is nothing but the structure similar to table. But when we execute update method, for example, I'll say suppose update student set name equals to Rita, where name is equal to Geeta. Now, when I execute this command, am I going to get output something like this, something like above query? No. When I execute, I get just the number of records updated. So with this only you can understand that update statement or delete statement or insert statement, they give me the number of rows that are affected by this updation. In case of update, it will say one row updated. In case of deletion, it will say one row deleted. In case of insertion, it may say one row inserted. So it will give me the number of records. So similarly, now keeping this in mind, when we come to this method, so as you all know that insert, update or delete method, we execute using execute update. So execute update method, what does it return? It returns me the number. Which number it returns? It returns the number of rows updated. So after I execute update, it will give me the number, how many records have been updated. Is that clear? So this is the difference between these three methods. So these three methods are the methods which are related to my statement object. So s dot execute query I use when I want to execute select statement. I use s dot execute when I want to use create table, alter table or drop table. I will use s dot execute update when I want to execute insert, update or delete SQL statements to my Java program. So this will return me result set, this will return me boolean value, and this is going to return me the integer value that which indicates number of records that are affected. Clear? So we have a program here. I think there is no need of showing you the program where I'm using statement object. So here select star from employees, and then I have scrolled through the result set. So this, what I have done is I have given only one program, and then to show other examples, I have just underlined these two lines. Why I'm doing this? Because suppose I have to show you insertion of the record through Java database JDBC program, then in that case you have to just replace these two lines with these two lines. Here what I'm doing, I'm using select statement. So I've used s.execute query. This will return me the result set. I'm storing it in result set. Then I have a while loop which will display the records which are returned by my result set. So suppose this is done in case I want to display the records. Suppose I want to insert record into the table through my Java program. That I can do. I can keep the remaining program same, except for this part which is underlined. I have to replace with this. What I have to do? s.execute update, and I have to just give insert statement. Insert into employee values this, and then it will return me the number of records inserted. I have to just display a message, these many records inserted. So whenever I insert value or update or delete, I need not have while loop, because while will be used only when I want to scroll through the result set, and that we will be using only in case of execute query. Clear? So similarly, in case of updation of the record, suppose I want to update any record through my Java program, I have to keep the same program. I have to just replace those 4 lines with these 2 lines. So here, as you all know, I have to use the same execute update method which I have used for insertion. Only the SQL statement I have changed with update, and then it will return me the number of records updated. I have to just display I, that is these many number of records updated. Similarly, I can write a program to delete a record from, and it actually works. You can actually execute this Java program, and then you will see that it will delete a record from your SQL table through Java program. So for that, you have to just use delete statement. All these 3 statements are similar. So clear about statement object. Then prepared statement also I have already explained you. Again, a quick revision. Prepared statement object is used to execute the queries which accept input parameters at runtime. Fine, which are parametric queries. They are also called as pre-compiled statements. Pre-compiled statements in the sense what? I showed you the annotation above. Here SQL statements I have shown you. No, I think it got erased. Now, in this cases, what Java does is, suppose when I have such statement, select star from student where phone number is question mark or name is question mark. What does Java do is, Java will compile the query with something like this. So instead of question mark, it may have a value like this. So it may say, it will say phno equals to ampersand phno. Ampersand phno in the sense it will keep it ready to ask from the user. Fine, it knows that it is going to be it is going to come from the user, and then it is something like, suppose you have to prepare a greeting. You will prepare a greeting, birthday greeting. Uh, Suppose you have to just write to whom. So you have just prepared a general birthday greeting. You get it in the shop also, and you just have to write a name in front of that to. So similarly here what it does, it will prepare a statement. Only thing, the criteria will be accepted on the spot. So this is called as pre-compiled query. Already it will have compiled at the time of creation only, and automatically the moment the parameters are passed, it will be ready to execute. So prepared statement object is considered to be faster than the statement object because it gets ready at the time of creation only. If you know how to create a statement object, we make use of create statement method, which is a blank. That means at the time of creation of the statement object, it is something like this, if you remember. So I'm typing it for you. How do we create statement object? We just say statement is equal to con dot create statement. But we don't pass any statement here. So statement object will be blank. It will keep its work pending till I call the method in the next step. When I call s dot execute query. So till here it is not ready with anything. So that is why this statement object does all these work at the last moment. So at the time of execution query, I will see array consa statement here. Then I will start working on it like this. But unlike that, what does prepared statement object do? At the time of creation only. See here, statement object at the time of creation has done nothing. It has created a blank. But whereas prepared statement object at the time of creation only, it would have created half of the statement. Only thing it will be remaining with the substitution of the values. So this is how prepared statement object is considered to be faster than the statement object. Clear? I'll just delete this. Yeah. So prepare statement prepares normally it is used to execute the queries which are going to be whose values are going to be substituted by the user dynamically. These values are what you can say, initially executed with the question marks. These are called as parameters. Later on, the values for these parameters are passed using the set method. Set along with the data type. If it is integer value, I will use set int. If it is string value, I use set string. If it is boolean value, I'll say set boolean, etc. And then set method accepts two parameters. First is the parameter index, that means the number of the question mark. So in this case, this will be the first parameter and this will be the second. So for this, we call it as the 0, sorry, not 0, 1, and here we call it as 1. So we have to pass the question number, that is called a parameter index. And second is I have to pass the value of the appropriate data type. If it is set string, I have to pass the value of the type string. If it is set int, I have to pass the value of the type int. So here I have given two examples. If I have to pass integer value, I'll be giving the first index and then I'll pass integer. In case I have to pass string value, I give string in single quotes. Understood? So this is how prepare statement is used. Advantages, it is faster because it is pre-compiled. This process is also called as late binding because it would have already ready. At the last moment, it will just get bounded with the values which are supplied by the user. So for this, I have given a demo program again. As you all know, already we have discussed this. So in this case here, instead of in select, I have given insert into statement and I have given two question marks, and first question mark will be substituted by integer value. So I've given set int, the first question mark, substitute 101, which is numeric. Then second question mark will be replaced with string value, that is 2 and round. Then because it is insert statement, I have used execute update and I have displayed these many records inserted. So this is the example of prepared statement. So similarly, I have given other examples of updation and then deletion, etc. So you can try this. Then also I have given the example for displaying values through prepared statement. This is nothing but our journal program. You can even write that. The next is, one second. Okay. So third type of statement here is callable statement. Now callable statement is not given in the syllabus, so let us not be bothered about it. But just to tell you, callable statement is used to execute PLSQL procedures. Procedures are nothing but the functions. To create callable statement object, we make use of the method called as prepare call. So to create statement object, we use create statement. To create prepared statement, we make use of prepare statement. And to create callable statement, we make use of prepare call method. So this is the example of creating callable statement. How we can make use of, this is the object name, then connection name, and then prepare call. And at the time of creation only, even similar to our prepare statement, this also calls a procedure at the time of creation. Only those procedure parameters will be substituted later in the same way as we substitute for our prepare statement. Anyways, I'll not explain this right now. If time permits, we will come to this later. Now let us discuss about the result set. So far everything is clear. So now it is result set object. So we will see what are the methods which are related to the result set. Result set gets created by the statements or prepared statements execute query method. So only when we have select statement executed, that time we get the result set. So result set is nothing but the virtual table which is the output of my select query. So the execute query method is used to send the query to the DBMS for processing and returns the result set object that contains data that was requested by the query. Data in a result set object is logically organized into virtual table consisting of rows and columns, that is fields and records. In addition to the data, whenever I get the result set, so result set is nothing but, it is nothing but the table. I'll get the table, isn't it? So I get something like this. I get value something like this. So this table, when I not only get the values in the table, but I also get the metadata with that. So my result set object, when it gets created, it fetches not only the values from the database, but it also fetches metadata from the database. So what does that metadata contains? Metadata contains the column name, column size, column data type, and if you are given constraints, it will also return the constraints from it. So this is one important point. Last time the question was asked based on this metadata. We are going to come to this point in detail later. Then result set uses a virtual cursor. Virtual cursor means a memory location where this virtual table exists. And here we are making use of the word cursor to indicate the record pointer. So record pointer, as you all know, that one at a time it will point to the records. And as we will go through the while loop, we will go on pointing to the next record, next record, next record, like that. So result set uses a pointer to point to a row of the result set. Initially, the cursor is positioned above the first row. That means initially the record pointer will be set to the 0th record, and slowly as we call the next method in the loop, the record pointer will go to the next record. By default, all the results set can be moved only in a forward manner. That means it cannot come back. It will always be positioned at the 0th record and it will go next, next, next. If you say previous, normally by default, it cannot go to the previous record. It will say, so such kind of record set which is returned by default is called a non-scrollable result set. So what is non-scrollable? Non-scrollable means the one which cannot scroll back. It will always scroll always in the forward direction only. It can only go to the next, it can't go to the previous. But as you all know that sometimes in the real-time applications, we also need to scroll to the previous record or first record or last record. Similar to your music player, we may have the what you can say movements, go to the previous or next or the first and the last. So these all options will be available, but for that I will have to make some setting at the time of result set creation. Such result set which allow us to scroll behind or forward or previous or next, these are called as scrollable result set. So scrollable result set are those which allow movements in all the directions. But by default, whenever I get the result set, that time it will be non-scrollable. So how will I make it scrollable? To make it scrollable, I have to give one value or one constant which is called as type scroll sensitive or type scroll insensitive. You have to give either of these two values. How to give that example I have shown next. At the time of statement creation, at the time of result set creation, I have to give this. How that I have shown in the next. There is one more thing. The result set normally it will not be updatable. Like for example, in my previous program here in my previous program of my statement object, here, this is the program. I have got the result set. Now this result set which is got by default, it is non-scrollable. That means it cannot go into the previous. It can go only in the forward direction. Second quality of this result set is this result set will be non-updatable. That means when I just get this result set and if I in the loop, if I try to update this value, compiler will give me error saying that this result set is non-updatable. So these are the default characteristics of my result set. What are the two characteristics? One is it is non-scrollable. That means it cannot move in the backward direction. It can move only in the forward direction. Second quality my result set has is it is non-updatable. That means we can only view the values. We cannot update the values through this result set. So in case I want to update, then I have to pass another constant to it. So let us see how to pass that constant. So I'm just scrolling to that position. Yeah. If I have to make it updatable, I have to pass the constant as type scroll updatable. Sorry, here it is. Hmm. Yeah, I have to say concurrent updatable. What is this concurrent? Right now you don't be bothered because otherwise it will be too much in detail. So you have to pass this constant. How to pass both these constants? That means how to make my result set scrollable as well as updatable. This is a common example here I have given. Now here I am creating a statement object. I will say con.create statement, and at the time of create statement only I have to give like this result set dot type scroll insensitive or sensitive, and then I have to say result set dot concurrent updatable. Only when I have done this setting, then only the returned result set will be scrollable as well as updatable. I hope this is clear to you. Anyways, nobody will ask questions so much in detail, but it is required for you to know knowledge point of view. So they may ask you 2 marks question, exam point of view. What are scrollable result set? So you can write the result set that allow us to scroll in both the directions, forward as well as backward, or they allow us to go to the previous or the first record are called as scrollable result set. You can also write one more sentence that by default the result set will be non-scrollable. To make my result set scrollable, I have to pass this constant at the time of creation of the statement object. What is this constant? Type underscore scroll underscore underscore insensitive. So this is how I have to make my result set scrollable. Clear? Then anyway, this is some extra reading I have given for those who are interested. So let us go to the next. 3 minutes are remaining, so we'll just finish with the methods of result set. As you all know that, yeah, suppose my result set is there and I want to fetch some value, single value from the result set. As you all know, in my result set already we have done it in our previous program. I have to actually scroll again and again. Yeah, where is my statement object program? Yeah, here. So RS is my result set. One method we have already used here is next. What does next method do? Next method takes my record pointer in my result set to the next record. So one method we have already learned here. There is another method we have learned which is called as get method. So RS is the result set. Get along with the data type. These methods are used to fetch the value of a specified column number. So in my result set, for example, here I have a result set. So I'm just showing you inserting a table here. Suppose I have a result set here. I have here A, B, C, etc. And here I have X. So X is the second column. A is the first column. So in my result set, the first record is A and X. These two values are there. So if I have to get these two values, I say get string 1. 1 means the first column, and this get string 2. This is the second column. So this 1 and 2 are the column numbers, indexes. Instead of indexes, I can even substitute the names of the columns. Like I can say get string RNO and get string name. I can substitute like that also. So let us come to those methods here. Which methods we discussed? Which method we discussed now? We discussed the method get. So get is a method along with the data type. It is used to return the data of the specified column name or the here. The column name can be substituted, or you can even substitute the index of the column. So in our example programs, you have taken the index. Next will take us next. Previous will take me previous if my data result set is scrollable. First will take me to the first, last will take me to the last. Absolute will take me to the specified row. Suppose I want to go to 10th row, I can pass 10. Then relative, from my position, if I want to go 2 records forward, then I say relative 2. Then it will take me 2 records forward. Or -2 will take me 2 records backward. Clear about the methods of result set? Yes. So that was all for today. Time is up. So see you remaining things in the next class. Keep ready with your doubts. You can just type them. I will answer them in the next class.